Hello, Chris. How are you?
Very well. How are you doing?
Thank you for joining me on this episode.
Good. Thanks for having me on.
It did just take us about a good hour to maybe set up the new headset. So I think we should probably together hope for the best that this is recording. What do you reckon?
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
It's two PTs figuring out a podcast is entertaining viewing.
That is it.
So
now,
that should have been the real podcast.
I reckon we should have filmed it because it could have also doubled as entertainment.
Agreed.
So yeah. Well, let's cheers. This is the this isn't really a margarita. This is called a Palema.
Oops,
It's
I
a
went a little too
grapefruit
quick on that.
tequila cocktail. And Chris has had 3 and I've had 1. I can't sip it with this thing. I'm not even going to bother. I will after.
You have been talking up your cocktails for a while. So
Yeah, so can you please give the listeners a bit of a review?
look, they do live up to the hype. I was skeptical coming in here after all the hype, but I'm very impressed.
I mean, I do hype the cocktails up.
Yeah, you do.
But
and I often
I
hear
like
about them.
to live up to my expectations. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Well, good stuff.
We are going to get in straight into the episode, Chris. There's 3 questions I'm going to ask you to start
All right.
the episode.
This is the thing you do every time.
This is what I do with my in-person, I was going to say in-person clients, but my in-person podcasts.
All right. Hit me.
The first question, are you ready?
Is that the first question?
No,
If
it could
so,
be.
bring it on.
Tell the listeners one word to describe you.
Calm.
That is such a good word.
Yeah. And I feel like you even said it just before.
I
Like
did,
we were
and
having-
I was thinking it because anyone that's listening probably knows I'm probably a bit crazy and I'm very crazy. And I was thinking, oh, it's good that I'm doing the podcast with you today because you'll calm me down a bit.
Yeah.
So I'm the opposite of that.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of me, what is one word to describe me?
Passionate.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Love that. I agree. And sum up one.
I was also going to say similar because we have a lot of
Yes, and we're going to get
things in
into
common.
that.
Yeah.
You and I are very similar. I've only met you really once properly. I feel like we're already best friends. So there you go. It's going to be a good chat today. Can you sum up what you do in one sentence? Apart from setting up podcasts.
I help women transform their body and lives in a sustainable, enjoyable way.
Love that.
Yeah.
And just by him saying that, guys, for those listening, will understand that Chris is very much in the same kind of space as me when it comes to coaching. So you're a personal trainer.
Yep.
So when did you get into doing personal training?
So basically straight out of school.
Yep.
It was the only job that I've ever had.
Yep.
And I left school when I was obviously 18 and
Yep.
I was like most 18-year-olds, pretty lost at the time and didn't
Yep.
know what I wanted to do. So my mum was actually working with a PT,
Yep.
and I was sort of seeing her changes and how much she was enjoying it, and I ended up meeting her PT and sort of chatting with him, and he was saying like, what do you want to do and things like that, and I actually said to my mum at the time, I want to have a gap year because I just didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And my mum kind of looked at me and laughed and said, that's a complete joke because your last 12 years of school have basically been a gap year
as was
because
mine.
school wasn't the greatest. I wasn't the greatest
Were
student.
you naughty at school?
Sometimes. I wouldn't say naughty, more so like just lazy and didn't want to be there.
Not interested.
Yeah.
Not bothered.
Yeah, you get the standard thing like has all the ability in the world but kind of just doesn't
Not
apply
into
himself
it.
kind of thing. Yeah. So
everything just kind of aligned really well for you then.
yeah, kind of up until that point, because all through school I always was a bit, I was popular and played sport and things like that,
Yep.
but I was always a bit like lost as far as
What
my
you wanna-
direction and things. Yeah, so I was pretty fortunate after school to fall into that, and I met. So mum basically pushed me to enroll in TAFE and study
that.
fitness, same way you did.
Yeah.
It was kind of the best decision that was for me at the time. And I met my mum's trainer, and he said to me at the time, because we got along really well, he was like, if you study your fitness course for the next 12 months, you can come and work at my gym at the same time.
Yep.
And basically study fitness and work your way up through the gym. And eventually, if it goes well, you can work in the gym as a full-time PT. So
Love that.
yeah. So
I feel like that kind of is an awesome way to kind of say your story of how you got into PT, because you work with women and you're passionate about like empowering women to like not think that they need to do silly things to achieve awesome results and not be restrictive and enjoy their life along the way. And you kind of saw those benefits that your mum was getting and you're like, you know what, I actually kind of want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is awesome, because it really shows with what you do and how passionate you are with what you do. And it stemmed from that, and it's still going strong.
Yeah, and like at the time, like thinking back to it, it was kind of, I didn't really know that I wanted to do it. It was a good opportunity. I thought I'll give this a go.
Yeah.
But as I got into TAFE, I remember you telling me you like doing it at TAFE as well.
Yeah, we both did TAFE, guys. We didn't do the 8-week course.
Yes, I would highly advise. It's like a year-long thing. You actually learn, and yeah.
You're not rushing your studies, and you can work like, you know, what we both did along the way. And
and if you're lucky enough to get a good class, like I had a few mates in my class and things, and it was enjoyable.
It's so fun, hey?
It is fun, yeah.
I love doing TAFE.
And if you weren't a big school person, like having that kind of sense of enjoyment with studying was quite refreshing. So I really liked it.
I agree.
And then eventually once I started working in the gym, even though I was initially quite terrified, to be honest, because I was... Not so much anymore, but back then I was very introverted and didn't really have...
Really?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I was always
You were shy.
Very shy, yeah.
Do you know what's funny? I was so shy when I was... My mum thinks it's so funny. I was so shy when I was growing up. I'm really not now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, 100%. Don't shut up.
What's that?
Both of us probably don't shut up. And we're talking all day long to clients and things. But
that's it.
I don't know. I can't speak for your experience. But for me, I sort of... Doing PT and that first year of working with clients basically like almost cured my shyness in a way. Like even though I was very... hesitant and fearful initially, just the repetition of talking to people and having conversations.
Do you know what it could be? And this is what I say a lot, is it's that sense of feeling like you belong. So like for me, like during school, I never felt like I belonged because I'm not excited about doing maths, or like I was cheeky as at school. People probably wouldn't think it, but I was really cheeky. And I always loved doing sport, and I always felt like I felt like I belonged with sport. So like when you're talking about fitness and doing something you're excited about, you don't feel shy because it's kind of, you feel like you fit in
it
there.
aligns with your energy type thing,
Yes.
Well, it's kind of the same thing now, even, because I think it's just natural to feel uncomfortable and shy in situations and settings where people don't align with you, or they're on a different kind of wavelength. Like I still get that to this day. Like if I'm out with people or I meet someone, like I'm still a little bit like that around new people. And if we're not quite on the same, I guess, energy, I feel quite uncomfortable. That. So, you're 100% right.
I said that to a client the other day. Actually, let's get your opinion on it. I said to her, I am quite introverted, but I feel like I'm really not. I'm really extroverted naturally around a certain energy type.
Yes.
So it makes sense, hey?
Yeah.
Like you can be, if I'm around people who I'm not really, then I don't know, maybe not excited about the same things as me, or they're talking about things that don't really excite me, or, like what you just said, you can be like, oh, okay, I'll just go home and like be in my own space. But when you're surrounded by people who are really excited about the same things as you, you're like, oh my God, yes. Like you're feeling like
100%.
You're not drained by their energy, whereas you could go home and be so drained by someone's energy.
Yes.
Because
you feel extroverted around people that you feel safe around, and people that you feel excited, and you feel like...
I've recently learnt this.
Yeah, you got
about myself.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah, it's a thing. Hey,
I'm very mindful of that when I meet people, actually, and quite protective of my own energy.
Yes.
And just if I'm not on that same headspace, or it feels a bit off, I just don't really
invest your energy.
Exactly right.
Yeah. And I feel like that is something that I've spoken about many times on different podcasts, is that like life is so, and it's awesome to get your opinion on this as like from a male's point of view, like life is so short. Like I feel like there's a lot of people who are, giving their energy or doing things that aren't uplifting their energy.
Yeah, and hanging around people that they
eats you up.
Don't align with anymore.
Yeah. So like, I just think it's really important to be a bit self-aware of like how your energy is around certain people or doing certain things, and try and do more things that makes your energy feel really uplifted.
Yeah. And I don't know about you, but as I guess progressed with my business journey and took my health and things more seriously over the years, like there'd be, a lot of friends and things that, you have like a lifelong friendship with, or they're like your high school friends, but you're not quite on the same level anymore. And it makes for this kind of resistant energy, because like you're going in one direction and they're
I'm struggling with that big time at the moment.
Yeah. What? How so? Just old
Well,
friends?
just like, you're like me, Chris. We're very ambitious. We're really excited at the moment with like business goals, and like, we've spoken about this before. We're not that interested in like getting the house and getting married and doing all that like at this time in our lives. Whereas a lot of people our age, we're the same age, those listening. Wait, are we? I'm 28 next week. Yeah, I'm wiser than you.
I'm 27, yeah.
I'm 28 next week.
Oh, you're older than me.
I'm wiser.
You old hag. Wiser? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I figured out the podcast, so I don't know about that.
True. I brought the headset, so
this is true.
That was wise.
All right.
Like I actually was asking some advice from Brett from this last week. Like, how do you get through pursuing your personal goals with your business and with what you want with your life when the majority of like, your family and friends are totally in a different headspace or situation? You still want to be friends with them. You still want to like go to their events and stuff like that. But it's very time consuming.
It is, yeah.
Going to like heaps of events and...
Yeah, it's tough. And it's something that I've actually been working through the last few years. And I feel like I'm in a much better headspace with it now. And also the longer that, because for me in those first couple of years of trying to build a business and maybe pulling away from socializing and drinking and stuff like that as much as I used to.
Yeah. But I have had 3 cocktails in a shot.
Well, yeah. Now it's different. Where I have more of a balance. But like early on in my journey, my friends and family I'd feel a bit of resistance from them because I was kind of going one direction.
Oh my God, this is a great chat. I love it.
But over time, like over the years, people started to change their...
Accept you.
And start to respect it.
And respect.
Yeah, exactly. Because at first they don't quite understand.
Yes,
and
they
that's
don't
fair
understand.
enough.
Oh, you're online coaching. Oh, cool. Do you want to get a coffee at 10 a.m.?
Yeah.
No, I'm working. Like just because I'm at
yeah.
home doing online coaching doesn't mean I'm not working.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I've found over the years, and especially now, even when I go out and see like old mates that I haven't seen in a while, like they're in a different mindset, and because they've seen the progress in me and the business and all of that, they kind of respect it and admire it, I feel like, in a way. And it even inspires them. So initially it was like, screw him, he's kind of like dogging us and doing all this stuff, but now it's in a different place. So it feels good now.
That's really good.
Yeah.
It is. I think this is the conversation we're just having now is such an unspoken topic. And I feel like it's a struggle. It's a personal struggle. I struggled with this big time the last couple of weeks. It's been a big struggle for me. But, I mean, it needs to be spoken about, like especially with people who are on their own personal journey with business and...
Because it can feel quite isolating, especially...
Oh, my God. Yeah, we get so on the same page, Chris. That's the exact word I use. This is how I explain it. I can feel very isolated around people that maybe aren't on the same journey as me, but then feel so not isolated when I'm on my own.
Yeah, true.
It's pretty sad.
And sometimes it's...
If you put it like
we're
that.
We're just like these sad little trainers in our own little world. But
we're gonna ramp, guys. We're gonna give you some tips in a sec. We've got lots to give you.
Yeah. But I feel like this is interesting chat.
Yeah, we didn't even plan this. This wasn't planned.
You can get all the fitness tips in the world from
Yeah, just listen to the rest of the episodes.
Yeah.
So
bit of life chat.
Get back to what we were saying. So you've done PT. So you were a PT in person for how many years?
About 7 years.
Yeah. So Chris is like me. He's got quite a lot of years experience in person, but now his business is solely online.
Yep.
And I remember we've had a conversation. You one of the reasons why you've done that is very similar to me. It's a hard gig to be training people. Full time as
consistently
just full-time PTs. Very difficult,
particularly if you're like us and you maintain a high amount of clients and
a high level of delivery as well. So that was your reason as to what you've done, so how you've gone online. So talk us through that.
That played a part, like a bit of burnout and a bit of like you can only give people so much of your energy. That definitely played a role. But for me, it was also creatively as a personal trainer, and any personal trainers listening would probably resonate. Sometimes every week and every day can feel like a bit of a photocopy of the day before. You're kind of just doing the same things. You're in the same gym. You're having similar conversations with clients. And for me, after a while, it just became a little bit like monotonous, and I wanted something because I'm a bit of a creative person. I like to build things and so I was feeling a bit frustrated in that sense.
Time poor because you're having to spend so much time, physical time.
Exactly, and obviously, you're capped to how much time you can spend in the gym. So I wanted to grow, and a big goal for me was traveling. So I wanted to move the business online. I wanted to grow it and scale it, help more people, do all those amazing things. And I wanted to live abroad for sort of indefinitely.
Did you do that?
Well, no, because
COVID.
Exactly.
Damn.
COVID fucked me like most people. Sorry, I don't know if you can swear.
You can swear. I don't swear often on the podcast. I'm professional.
Okay. Bit of a jab there.
No, I swear sometimes.
Slightly.
I announce before I swear.
But that kind of was a bit frustrating. But the reason I went online was a combination of all those reasons.
Yeah. So talk us through what you do online. So your program is the Minimalist Method. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Can't say it's a bit of a
You actually said it right for the first time, I think. Every other time I was like,
I've been practicing,
you do the minimal method.
Minimalist method.
Yeah. So it's
talk us through that. So, but before you do that, you guys who are listening know that I'm the same as Chris. Like, we don't want to be those PTs who can tell you got to do all this stuff to achieve your goals. I've been through an experience where I've had to be restrictive and not enjoy my life, and I just don't want that for other people. And I think it's fantastic with what you're doing with obviously like women and like empowering them through education that they don't need to do silly things. So, which I think is really awesome. So your program, talk us through that.
Yeah, so it's called the Minimalist Method.
Yeah.
I launched it on my birthday, actually, in 2019. So that's just over 18 months ago now.
Fantastic.
And it kind of was created as a mirror to where I was at in my own life, because I was very much someone like you and probably a lot of people listening who, kind of went to extremes, and you've tried everything, and you've tried the challenges and training 6-7 days a week.
Quality of life, it's just not even thought about.
Rejecting social occasions and also too, like
not having cocktails.
But I think a big reason a lot of people lose motivation and burn out mentally, which is something I talk about a lot in my content now, is they're overthinking the whole thing. It's like too many decisions to make. It's like,
oh my God, that is so on point.
Yeah, and they get overwhelmed with training 6 times a week, trying to hit all their things, thinking about it 24/7, and it basically consumes their mind to the point of like, after 4 or 5 weeks, they're completely over it and burnt out, and like, I'm sick of this. Yeah. So, and I was that person as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating because this is what I say to people as well. You don't know. Unless you know, or you spend the time to invest in learning. So like, there's so much misleading information out there. There's so many like saturated programs you can do. So it's really confusing. Like,
it is,
it's really confusing. Unless you've got, someone with good ethics and morals when it comes to coaching, it's very hard to...
Yeah, it's information overload a lot of the time, And I think if, for everyday people just trying to get some results, if fitness and like consumes too much of your mental space and mental energy, you're just going to like get sick of it very quickly.
Yes.
Like the Minimalist Method was, I actually read a book called Minimalism.
Did you read a book?
It's probably like one of the only books I've read from cover to cover.
Oh, you read it?
Yeah, I read it.
Oh, sorry.
Did you think I said wrote a book?
I was like, that is so impressive.
No.
I'm actually writing a book.
Really?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's called Boss It Up, Babe.
Boss It Up, Babe?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I'll
3
have to check
years
it
in
out.
the making, guys. Anyways.
Okay. Well, yes, I read a book cover to cover, which is quite rare for me. I'm usually get a quarter of the way through and stop.
Yep.
But
as am I.
But yeah, minimalism, even though the book itself didn't apply to fitness in any way, it was all about sort of less is more, and it applied to relationships, all areas of your life, sort of like removing the excess and focusing on the things that matter, basically.
Love that. So you applied that to your Minimalist Method when it comes to...
Yeah. Well, I applied it to my own life.
Yeah.
And then gradually I applied it to my own training.
Yeah.
Just trying it out and then the more that I kind of applied it and started researching it, it all kind of made sense, because the more that you're recovering and if you're focusing on I guess, the right things while you're training, like we do now, training 3 times a week. That's all you need. That is all you need. If you're doing the right movements, the right exercises, you're eating right, that is all you need. So
absolutely. Yeah. I love that. So that was obviously the motive of getting that started. So you're also excited about like mentoring other PTs, which I think is really cool as well.
Yes, that is not something that I'm doing yet.
But you're onto it. That's
yeah.
And it's same. You'll apply the same type of
same mindset. Because it's the same approach for PTs, especially who are trying to go online.
And so foundation is the less is more.
Yeah, exactly. And also because a lot of the time, and I'm sure you've been there, I've been there, where you move a business online and you think it's going to be great. You think you're going to be sipping cocktails on the beach and doing all these cool things, but
having coffee at 10 a.m. like everyone thinks we are.
And working out at cafes and things, which is actually
do that.
Kind of at the point that I'm at now. Obviously, I still work hard, but it's a minimalist approach. I work only like a couple of hours a day most of the time. So that's what I want to teach other PTs and online coaches how to do.
They can achieve what you've done.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to give the listeners some tips. So if maybe, let's say, like someone is, like what we've just kind of discussed, really overwhelmed, really like trying to do more, trying to focus on the quality over the quantity, trying every 6-week challenge that comes up, what would be some just, obviously there's heaps of advice you could give, but maybe what would be like the starting focus, that advice that you would give? Like say if someone came to you and said, Chris, I'm trying to do like 6 group classes. I'm like doing this diet and doing this, like, what would be like a foundation of like a good starting point? Because I'm sure you're like me, you're like focus on the foundations and then build on that. What would be some general tips?
It's honestly just stripping it back to what works and the basics and
education.
And also too, having like different hobbies that don't relate to fitness as well, so that like, because when I train now, I train 3 times a week, same as you.
Yeah.
And when I go into the gym, because I'm only training 3 times and I'm resting the other 4 days, I go in and I'm excited to be there.
That is so true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when you're in on those 3 days, it's the quality session. Like, I'm not going to go on about it because I always talk about it, but like, if you're recovered well, so your training performance is better. Like you said, you're more enthused because you're more excited about that session because you're not trying to just go there to burn calories or just to tick it off your list.
Yeah.
And so I find a lot of people just ticking these things off the list without focusing on the effort that they're applying to that session.
Yes.
So your effort's higher, you're more excited, so you're going to put in more effort just simply because you're excited. You're going to feel better after because you're excited about it.
That's right, yeah.
And your training performance will be much better because you've recovered.
Yeah. And also something that I do now and I've been doing for a while is when I sort of finish my session and it's done, I kind of try to almost switch my brain into recovery mode. It's like, okay, the session's done. I've done all I can physically in the gym.
Yep.
Now I want to just focus on relaxing, self-care, massaging, going to the beach, drinking a cocktail, relaxing with people, like laughing, doing as much as I can to
You're a lot more chill.
To calm my nervous system down, basically.
I need to do that.
Yes, exactly.
I ride my bike.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's a good start. You're outside, you're in the sun, you're doing something
go for a walk.
Relaxing. Yeah, because training is a very...
speak about that, because I know you speak about that quite a lot on your socials.
Yeah.
It's a nervous system situation. Like, do you think that a lot of people are just, maybe filling their days up with things that are stressing them out in heaps of other... Like, I feel like it's stress as well. It's not talked about physical stress.
Yeah.
So like mental stress is a big thing, but physical stress is also a massive thing. I've learned about that through my injury. Once I've reduced a lot of my physical stress, I was able to recover a lot better. But like
it's just
something that you like to speak about. Hey.
Yeah. And it's what I've been really speaking about a lot lately is doing as much as you can to kind of balance out your nervous system, sort of thing. So to give you guys an explanation, most people who are training a lot and 6-7 times a week and then you throw in work and you throw in having multiple coffees a day and on your screen 8 hours a day,
so bad,
and getting notifications all the time. These
always stimulated.
Yeah, you're literally always stimulated, and you're basically you're living in sort of a fight or flight state.
Yes.
Where you feel it. Like you start to feel it over time. You feel tired, you feel burnt out, you feel anxious, you feel jittery. Your sessions might start to suffer. So I try to balance out that equation by doing as many relaxing and calming things as possible, so that you're more of a 50-50 rather than 90% fight or flight and then 10% only when you're sleeping, basically.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I was saying this to a client, actually, and I said to her at the same time, I was like, I'm also going to take this advice myself as well. But like, in today's society, it's getting worse. We're so busy. We've got our phones. We're on our phones all the time.
Yeah, these are a huge part.
Check our notifications. I'm bad at it because, you know, we run businesses online. You've got social media, you've got emails, you've got Instagram, TikTok, you know, all the apps and everything. So it's like second nature for you to check that. Like, instead of just going, actually, just take a moment just to think about my day. Like, and just like think about it, like in silence. Like, like we always have music on. Listening to a podcast, straight away listen to music, watching TV, phone, everything. Like, it's just so much. So like, there's a little time to, like what you're saying, just to slow down and be more present, like in certain times, like, and also be present with yourself, because that's when I feel like you can actually gain a lot of self-growth, when you're checking in with yourself, like, what do I want to be doing? Yep. Did I enjoy my day? Why didn't I enjoy my day? Or like those sorts of things. Like.
Yep. Yeah, it's gotten to a point where most people are kind of uncomfortable if they're not distracted by something.
That is so It's tragically true.
Yeah, but it's also a big reason that a lot of people feel the way they do, overwhelmed and tired and anxious. And so, that's something that's really helped me. And something that I would recommend listeners is turning off your notifications if you can on your phone.
I do that.
Yeah. Like,
it's
you don't
game changer.
Like my phone is silent always. Yeah. Like, I don't get notifications from Instagram, nothing. Yeah. And trust me, I have a business with 70 online clients. If I can turn off my notifications, everyone probably can. It's just like, try to set some boundaries around your...
Just going to say boundaries.
Yeah. If you set boundaries in relationships, hopefully, and you should do the same with your phone and screen time, for
Absolutely.
Sure.
Like, I think you could probably agree with me, Chris, when we first started our online business, I'll speak on behalf of you, but
thanks.
I didn't have any boundaries in place. Like, you know, I was flight attending at the time as well, so I was
That's right.
I was hustler, team hustle.
Yep.
Late at night on the emails, not having any like kind of scheduled times and stuff like that. Now I'm so scheduled, and I speak to younger PTs and they're like, I'm doing check-ins on Saturday and Sundays. And I'm like, no, you're not. Why are you working on the weekend?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, I used to do that too, but like boundaries and like being okay with saying no, like understanding like, okay, I'm a bit overwhelmed this week. I'm going to need some downtime to recharge before another crazy week interacting with a lot of people.
Yes.
Sunday, it's a no day. I'm saying no to anything. I feel like a lot of people feel pressure to go, oh yes, I'll say yes. Like
that's right.
I'm getting better at saying no. But I feel like a lot of people still struggle to go, what are my needs, and like not putting their needs first.
Yeah.
So do you have any advice?
No is a magic word.
From like a
really
male's point of view, because I've spoken about this before on podcasts, but like from a male's point of view, or just a point of view in general, what would be your point of view on like maybe creating better boundaries to prioritize your own needs better?
Yeah, it's just like I've kind of gone through a bit of a funny journey with that, because I always, like, initially when I would be trying to build a business, I would probably listening to too much Gary Vee at the time. Like, I would just be
Love Gary.
Like hustling, like just
I am Gary Vee because I'm like, shh.
Are you female Gary Vee?
I wouldn't say I'm on his level, but I'm inspired by him.
But yeah, with the business side of things, I would be listening to him all the time, and you know,
he's really aggressive.
Yeah, I used to kind of look at resting and downtime as kind of being lazy, and I think that's probably probably one of the biggest mindset shifts I've made is looking at self-care and rest as it's like slowing down to speed up.
Productive.
Like if you feel like, then when you come back to your work or you come back to your training, you're going to feel more productive. But getting to your question before, I initially used to kind of say yes to everything. Like I would always go to social occasions and things, and
say yes to new clients that you didn't have time for, and
yes to everything, because I wanted everything, and I thought that I thought I'd be missing out if I didn't say yes.
Yeah, especially when you're new to PT as well. For those listening, because I know there's a lot of listeners who are also PTs, but and you're wanting to say yes to every client because you don't want to turn people away, but really you know you're going to be overwhelmed by it.
This brings up a good point too, and I'm sure now you're in the same boat, but I So when I first started the Minimalist Method 18 months ago, my coach actually got me to, he's like, think about when you're coaching your clients, that's what you're going to be doing majority of the time. So I want you to be very selective with who you work with, the type of energy that they have. And I want you to write down a list of like 10 to 15. Client. Yeah, like literally I would write it down, 10 to 15 attributes of what they're like, what their lifestyle is like, what their age is like, what their like everything that I wanted. And
do you do a like an application?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I started to do that just so I could be like,
do an application form.
I asked them the tough questions because otherwise you ended up working with someone who's not suited to you, and it's got to be a team effort.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, what were you saying? I think I cut you off there.
Yeah, so I basically wrote down a list of attributes for ideal clients that I want to work with. And then when I get on, because they do an application form, and you can kind of get a sense for someone a little bit with the application form and the effort that they put in, what they say.
Yeah.
But then I get on the phone with them because I do like a 15-minute initial call to see, if it's going to be the right fit. And there's been plenty of times where I've been, getting back to what we were saying before, if I'm not on the same level with them and I start feeling like resistance within me, and I feel like
you can be
I feel like I'm pushing up a hill kind of thing. I'll be like, okay, I don't think this is the right program for you.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because you know what? You're doing their check-ins, and like, obviously those listening, like obviously when you're doing client check-in, I'll do a voice note for like 10 to 20 minutes per client.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit.
My online clients.
Oh,
so
right.
like it's an individual.
Why don't you just call them?
What's that?
Why don't you just call them?
No, because it's got to be, they email in and then I voice note them back.
Yeah. That's like feedback. Yeah.
It's feedback.
Gotcha,
yeah. So, because I talk about all different things, not just half the time we talk about lifestyle, careers, and then I'm like,
cocktails.
they tell me where they go for cocktails on the weekend. I'm like, by the way, and your goals this week are this, and that. But I mean, like, even doing the feedback to a client, that takes energy out of you.
Yeah.
So like I have some clients where I'm like, I actually did a post with one of my clients today. I love her. She's from Melbourne. And I'm just like, I get so excited to do a check-in. She's so on point. Like, and that's a lot of energy. And then you get those clients who are, all my clients are pretty good at the moment, but I went through a stage where there was a few that kind of drain your energy.
Oh, definitely.
That can impact your day and your week. And your productivity.
Exactly.
And that's the same with like people and friends and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
Always saying yes to go and catch out with that certain person for a coffee because they invited you, but you're resisting, like what you're saying about the resistance. You're resisting. And it's not a big yes.
Yeah.
Then it should be a no.
And sometimes even, I can admit this fully, like even if you don't intend this to be the case, if you've got a client that you're not aligning with and you're not, it feels like a bit of an effort, like it feels like an effort, there's resistance.
Yeah.
Without even realizing it sometimes, your service to them can be like below par, or you won't put in quite as much effort with them compared to someone that you're like enthusiastic about talking to.
It's very true. The more the client applies themselves, the more enthused and the more much of a team you are, the better the team will do. That's
exactly.
what I think.
Yeah. So any PTs listening, protect your energy. Like I know initially you need to basically take on anyone to get a bit of experience, but once you get past that point, work with people that you enjoy and align with.
And it will make you a better PT. Like honestly, you want to have a good reputation. You want to be putting in effort. I have on my computer there, effort drives success, because I'm a big believer in putting in effort, and I put in effort with
and also energy drives success.
What's that?
Energy drives success.
Or maybe that's what it says.
Well, probably.
No, effort. It says effort. But
okay.
Energy, yeah. It does say effort.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you've got to remind yourself, really put in that effort. Because sometimes, obviously, if you're doing a check-in, you're not as enthused to do it. It's put in the effort, you've got this, and it could be extra draining though. Now, you spoke about taking extra self-care, which I think is something that I talk about a lot with my clients, and something that I do as well for myself, because if I don't, then like I'm just in a bit of a funky mood. So like I take out time within my day and my week to have some extra self-care to just prioritize my own needs. And obviously setting boundaries is a form of self-care. And, doing things that you enjoy. Like I buy myself flowers every week, go get a massage, get your nails done or something like that. Like that's is cool. Self-care.
Yeah.
Go for a walk or whatever. Like what would be some tips that you would give to listeners on how to maybe better prioritize self-care? Because I think that, like what we were just saying before with the whole, in today's society, it's busy, busy, busy on my phones. And, you know, a lot of people have time to be doing all these things that are costing them money, but not prioritizing their money or their time to actually prioritize their self-care.
Yeah.
What would be some tips that you have for listeners to maybe just better implement some self-care?
I would say try to maybe write down a few things to start and go with things that are fun for you. Like if you're someone who's really, really busy and you say to yourself, okay, or you listen to this podcast and you're like, oh, I need to do some self-care, but you're not really sure what to do. Don't go for something like meditation or something if you've never done that before, because that'll be like, oh, I need to do meditation. It feels like a task sort of thing. It feels like you're forcing it. And most people will put on headphones and like, oh, I'm not really into this meditation. This is kind of shit. So, you know, self-care can look like anything. It can look like lately I've been playing Monopoly, for example, with my family. I played it the other night and like, it was just hilarious. We had like the best time ever. Like that's something that you have to be present with.
Turn the phone off.
Yeah. I like getting a massage once a week.
I do that too.
Yeah. I like just going to the beach for a walk in the sun. Like, it can be walking your dog. It can be anything. Like, try to prioritize things that you know you enjoy. Don't just...
And there's always time. Like, I mean, if you've got time to be on your Instagram for hours a day or going home and watching Netflix or whatever, you've got time to like just think about. Yeah.
Maybe it's for any girls listening. Maybe it's just running like a nice bath and doing a little skincare routine.
Love
Listen
that.
to whatever.
Little face mask.
Yeah.
Hydrate.
Anything enjoyable where you feel calm and you feel like you're slowing down, that is self-care. So whatever that looks like for you, go for it.
Yeah. And I think that like with the whole self-care thing, there's heaps of also like in your face, like meditate, do this and that. Like what you just said, that seems like really stressful. Like, oh my God, self-care. I don't like meditation. Like, I mean, I meditate sometimes and when I do, I feel really good. I'm very fast-paced, extremely. So like sometimes I'll meditate and be like, holy crap, I am so tense. Like, and I actually do really enjoy doing meditation, but I go on and off with doing it. But when I do it, I do enjoy it. So like another thing that I would say is you don't know until you try things. I'm really big on journaling. I don't know if you are or if you discuss this with your clients, but I'm really big on journaling. It's helped me a lot in my life and I like to kind of do it on the regular. But like what I say to my clients when I say, you know, I want you to start doing some journaling, the same thing what you just said, it's resistance. It seems stressful. But then when I explain to them how I want them to do it, that's like, oh, that's actually like really easy. So like the way I get my clients to journal is I get them to write down 3 favorite parts of their day, which I love that. It's always a gratitude thing. 3 favorite parts of your day. And I'm a ritual at this. I say it out loud before I go to bed.
Do you talk to yourself a lot?
I talk to myself all the time.
So do I.
I mean, like, my neighbors probably think I'm crazy. Seriously. Like, sometimes I talk to myself in the streets. I'm like, shit. It's business meeting.
Like your meme the other day. Yeah, business meeting.
Oh, it's a staff meeting.
Yeah. Well, it is, really. I'm like coaching myself all the time.
It literally is a staff meeting. So I'll do 3 favorite parts of your day, which I think is awesome. Because it could, and I always say to them, like, maybe you're having a tough time, but there's always going to be 3 things that you enjoyed. Maybe it was just getting a coffee. Maybe it was just watching TV. Maybe it was getting a phone call from your mum. Like, can be something really basic. Like, it's not basic.
It doesn't have to be this miraculous thing.
It doesn't have to be like, oh my God, like, this is that. Like, and then I get them to write down 3 things that they're grateful for. There's always things that you can be grateful for. And then just maybe something that a challenge that they overcame. Then that's like the basic things. Those three, that's it. And then anything extra you could write down, something that challenged you, maybe something you overcame or any thoughts and feelings. Because same thing, like we're so like, and I know for me, like if there's things on my mind, my sleep quality isn't the best. So if I write it down, I sleep heaps better. And I always recommend that to people. If you've got things ticking over in your mind, I mean, you're going to carry that into your sleep quality and then you're going to carry that into the next day. So like, write that shit down on a piece of paper.
Another thing that I've done recently in the last few months is, and it depends obviously where you live and what you have available in your area, but I actually have been going to these monthly groups.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Okay, what is it? Talk us
so
through
I went to this...
I don't think I would cope.
What do you mean?
Could you imagine me?
I'll explain it. So basically,
explain.
it's a group called Sydney Conscious on Instagram. If you want to give it a follow.
Oh my God,
It's,
shout out.
Yeah.
Is this a sponsor? You can pay for this?
No, actually,
joking.
I'm just doing this out of the goodness of my heart because it has benefited me quite a lot.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is like being around like-minded people who sort of practice self-care things. Normally, it sort of rubs off on you. It
normalizes it.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
and it becomes less overwhelming. Like or there's less resistance. Like I've gone to 3 of these events now on a monthly basis, and they do like a group meditation, breath work, where you lie down and do this breathing, and then you have like a bit of a dinner at the end and sound healing. And it goes for about
the sound thing.
like all these different sounds, and they let us like smells and
my good friend Beck. She hosted like an event once, and they did the sound bowl. I felt so good after it.
Oh, it's the best.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah. But going to something like that where everyone's doing it and you're guided through it, it makes it so much easier. You want to do it, and it's a bit more. It's like kind of like I compare it to going to like a group fitness class for someone new who doesn't go to the gym. You know, they go to group fitness because it's like motivating.
You got a good brain, Chris.
Huh?
You got a good brain. That's
a good brain.
True.
Okay. All right. Happy with that. But yeah, it's a good comparison. I feel like because you'll be motivated to go. It's a bit normal. You're not sitting in your room by yourself trying to do breath work, feeling like a weirdo. So. If there's anything in your area, like just look up
We should do that at the Glute Academy gym, which I'm not meant to say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So,
secret.
But yeah, if there's anything in your area, like a group, anything, just try to join it so you can get a bit of an intro to it.
Yeah, and I always think like, and this is coming from someone who's extremely fast paced, slowing down. One of my favorite sayings that I learned during COVID.
Yeah.
COVID was the best thing for me. Sometimes not being productive is being massively productive.
Yes, exactly.
So like be aware when you need to go, okay, like I'm feeling really good this week, I can, put down the boundaries a little bit and socialize a bit more, or okay, I'm being self-aware that I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed. Okay, put up a little bit more boundaries. Like it's all about like just being conscious but I feel like, I don't know about you, Chris, but like I feel like it's hard to have those conversations with yourself unless you do take the time to slow down a bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
agreed.
It's hard to kind of dig a bit deeper. I always am into like dig deeper into things like, why did you feel like that? Or why are you feeling like that?
Yeah.
Why are you drained? Ask yourself the tough questions.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, back to the fitness chat. So
Sorry. Just to that point, I was thinking of something before, getting back
it.
to your, like just the slowing down thing.
Yeah.
It even applies to training, like because I've been working with Reese at CrewFit for the last month.
Shout out to Reese.
Shout out to Reese. He probably won't see it because he doesn't like social media, but maybe one day.
We will actually send
send him the little short.
We will send this to you.
Yeah. Reese, you're the man. But he is, I was already only training 3 times a week, doing a less is more approach. But like when I'm training with him now, he's really instilled into me to like be calm and present when I'm training and when I'm lifting, because I was sort of doing that before.
That is a fantastic point.
And he was explaining to me, and this is his words, not mine. He's smarter than me when it comes to training. But like being like a lot of people when they're in the gym, they actually overdo things and they get too excited, and when they do
this is a good point.
When they do, like for example, we were doing like rear delt flies today on the machine and lat pull downs, and he goes, most people when they do these movements, they just go through too much range of motion, they do it too fast, and they're actually losing a lot of the tension when you're doing the movement. So
especially for those types of movements.
And he said
it's like driving a car and going, how did I get here?
Exactly. And he goes, when you train that way, you're losing about 80% of the tension. Yeah, exactly. And he showed me how to do these rear delt flies in his kind of way. And the range of motion went from like like what I was doing was completely wrong. Not wrong, but different. And he showed me this kind of, I guess, bodybuilder type way of keeping the tension in the rear delts. And I was only moving about this far, right? Compared to doing like a full thing before. And just made the world of difference. I've never felt like pain and tension in my delts like that in my life. So
that is honestly, I really love that you bring that up, because I do think like, and especially as well, like I always have notifications off when I'm training. Because you're going to get your notification, you lose, training is also a part of like your you time, I think. Like obviously do it for your own goals and whatnot, but like,
it's like physical meditation.
Be present when you're doing your training, because you'll get more out of it. Like you'll get better results. I think
Totally.
a lot of people, it's like, it comes back to what we've been saying about people thinking they need to do more to achieve more, like getting into the gym and ticking it off. I did a PT. That's why I got out of doing one-on-one PTs, because I found people just coming to me, I did PT, tick it off, without actually thinking that they put in the effort, or actually them putting the effort, because I know that they're not. Like they're just wanting to really chat and just tick off that they went to PT to make themselves feel better. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? So I think that's a fantastic point there. Yeah. Something for you guys to think about. Like when you're in the gym, are you focusing? You think about what you're doing.
Are you getting the most out of each movement and each rep? Like when you're like, try to stay calm. Like I've even been, when I'm not with Reese, because he gives me sessions to do outside, I've actually just sort of been closing my eyes when I'm training, just so I can sort of zone in on the muscle that I'm trying to work, right? Because I before just wasn't doing that, and it makes the world of difference. Like trying to connect when I'm doing a row for my back, I'm just really trying to zone in and pull the weight with my back, as opposed to like overdoing it, my forearms taking over, and then you end up getting nothing out of it. So being present.
I've been going to the exercise physiologist to advance my rehab now, to get into doing running again. I've been doing 3 sessions there, just down the road at Live Athletic. And Justin Lang, who's done the program and everything, he's so good. But at their facility, like I don't have it's a group training, but everyone's doing their own program. Then you got the EPs and physios and that there. And like I haven't been putting my earphones in because, I'm in the group environment. And I actually just noticed that now, just from this conversation, I have been a lot more focused because I'm not being on the phone. And like I don't usually go on the phone anyway, but even just not having my music in and having control over the songs and stuff, I've been really focused. And like back to what we are all about, less is more. If you're being more present and actually having really solid sessions, you don't need to be doing 6 days a week training when you could have 3 amazing sessions.
It's less, and I say this to my clients a lot of the time, like, just because I talk about doing less training days, it doesn't necessarily mean easy or that it's like you just cruise. It's less but more intentional, more focused, and what we just talked about just then. It's getting the most out of every movement, every session, so that you can rest the rest of the week. I really love your approach. I think we're very much on the same same wavelength when it comes to training. So I think that, what people can kind of take home from this chat is like, you don't need to be doing less. Well, just less in general, I think.
No, you don't need to be doing more.
Oh, yeah, no, but I was...
You don't need to be doing
that
less.
That was bad timing. You said, what could people take away from the podcast? I was just going to say less as in general, but then, you're right.
Yeah, because like another question, the last question I was going to ask is like we've pretty much already answered it, but like, why do you think people are unsuccessful at achieving their goals? Like, it's because they're trying to do more, right?
They're trying to do more, and in the process, they completely burn out and yo-yo, and puts them in a bad headspace.
And the stress of it too. Like, I've been in that headspace before, so I can speak from experience. But like, it's a stress on the body, and I've had to deal with this with recovering from hypothalamic amenorrhea, like having to really look at my stresses. But like, always going the perfect meal plan, the perfect this and that, the perfect week mentality. Is adding to people's stress, and that's negative. Like, that's not very negative. Sorry, that's not very positive. With everything that we've just spoken about today. So like, having an approach where you're focusing on really good quality for the things that you're doing, whether it be your training, whether it be your self-care, whether it be your nutrition, whether it be your job or whatever. Like, like you don't need to be doing like insane amounts of things to be able to achieve really great results, and focus on enjoying the process of it all. Like, building muscle takes time. Like,
so you might as well do as much outside of training that you can to enjoy yourself and feel relaxed and enjoy life and go out with your friends, so that, training then complements your life and it doesn't consume your life.
I say the same thing, but in a different way.
Right.
I say the exact same thing.
All right, okay.
What I say is
right.
training.
At least I didn't say the exact same words.
No, but it's just hilarious that we have the same
Yeah,
sayings.
yeah.
I say...
Hey, we didn't even plan it.
We didn't plan this, and they've heard this before. I say training should be a positive addition to your life, not the main driver.
Okay.
Same but different.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Tomato.
What's that?
Tomato.
What's that?
It's like just the same thing, but different ways of saying it. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
What's that?
Well, I reckon we wrap it up here, Chris, because I reckon we've just had a really great organic chat. Like I didn't plan this. We didn't really have any preparation for this podcast.
Literally nothing.
I think it's great that we can just have a chat. Like we even went for a walk the other week and we're like, we should have just recorded this as a podcast because we just had a good chat about like just stuff and
exactly.
we're on the same path with things and whatnot. So tell the listeners where they can find you, your program, your socials and what's to come, what you're working on and whatnot.
Yeah, so Instagram is just Chris Duncan Fitness.
And I'm going to link it all below and I'll link it on my socials as well.
Yep. And inside of my Instagram bio is the Minimalist Method, which is the program that I run that I've been talking about.
Yep.
I also have something coming up called the Minimalist Coach, which you can look out for if you're a PT.
Definitely look out to it.
Sort of teaching PTs how to do things online in a way that works, but also doesn't, again, take over your life and you feel like you're constantly on your laptop.
I think you're really onto something with that.
Yeah, I really do as well.
When you told me, I was like, I love that.
When you said before an idea came to you when you were riding your bike? Yeah. That's another thing. When you're doing self-care, I swear I think clearly. Oh my God. Yeah. Like I was getting a massage.
Think clearer.
I was getting a massage and thought about this minimalist coach idea. Yeah. And I was like...
I remember you messaged me and I was like, duh, like that is a bloody fantastic idea.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like those things come to you when you're, like you said, like in a good headspace, when you're calm. Yeah. When you're overwhelmed.
Yeah. When your mind is quiet and slowed down, it makes way to think of new ideas.
Yeah. You know? And also when you're feeling inspired and you're having good energy. Like I said, I'm not going to say my idea.
Oh, yeah.
It's really exciting.
Yeah.
But like...
Soon.
What's that?
It's coming soon.
Coming soon, guys. So excited. Yeah. But that came to me when I was just feeling so uplifted and like just feeling so good.
Yeah.
And like a life-changing idea for both of us comes in those times.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, guys.
Self-care, my friends.
Yeah, I actually think it was this is one of my favourite podcasts.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too.
It was really good fun. Have you done podcasts before?
Never.
Have you never?
No, I've done like...
See how calm he is?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I've done one podcast like about 2 years ago, but it didn't...
Okay, well, this is the real deal.
It was very different.
I
would say this is my first debut official podcast.
This is a debut podcast, guys, on Beth Clare Fitness, the podcast. Yeah. But you're actually going to start your own podcast.
I am. Yeah, that's another thing to look out for. Yeah. So I'd say within the next couple of weeks.
So go follow him on the socials and then obviously look out for that there.
Yes, correct.
And what's the plan for that?
And I'll probably upload this one just to my podcast anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
You may as well. We'll do one too. We'll have a cocktail one.
Yeah, true.
Cocktails.
We'll do round 2 and I can interview you, I guess.
Yeah. I'm happy to do that. So guys, go check out Chris. Thank you so much again for your time.
Good stuff.
It's muchly appreciated. If you guys enjoyed this episode, we would love to hear from you.
Yeah.
And we'd love for you to help us share the message that we gave today in this episode. If you could take a screenshot and share it on your socials and tag us both in it. Maybe let us know something that you took home. If you want to listen to some more podcasts coming from me, make sure that you guys subscribe and all of that. And we'll just leave it there. Thanks again, Chris. And I will definitely be having you on again soon.
All right. Sweet.
Bye.
See you guys.
I hope it worked because that was so good.